The rules every Hell's Angel must follow. In his autobiography, Hell's Angel, The Life and Times of Sonny Barger, Ralph "Sonny" Barger explains that while the Hell's Angels Motorcycle Club tries to operate with as few rules as possible, the ones they do have are critical to the club's survival. Breaking these core rules can lead to severe consequences. Some members are expelled and forced to leave behind everything they know. Others aren't so lucky and may even lose their lives. A strict dress code is enforced. Members are required to wear specific vests and patches, including the club's iconic winged skull emblem. These symbols aren't just decorative, they're trademarked and protected by copyright law. No one outside the club is permitted to wear them, and doing so can lead to violent retaliation. Barger emphasizes that members are ready to defend the club and its symbols at all costs, even with their lives. Wearing the Hell's Angels patch without being a member is a serious offense and can result in being physically attacked. Members always wear their club gear, vests, jackets, and patches, proudly and publicly, showcasing their loyalty and identity. Sergeant Jacques Lemieux, a police expert in Canada, notes that the Hell's Angels want to be recognized as the dominant motorcycle club in the world. Loyalty within the group is paramount. Members support each other with a brotherhood-like bond, much like soldiers in combat. According to former Hells Angels President George Christie, the most important rule is unwavering support for fellow members. This unity, however, can sometimes lead to bloody and violent confrontations. The Hells Angels also follow a structured riding formation that reflects their strict hierarchy. When traveling in a group, positions are assigned based on rank. The chapter president leads despite the increased risk. The vice president typically rides next, followed by the road captain and the sergeant at arms. After that, the formation becomes more chaotic, with other members racing for position. Prospective members, called prospects, ride at the back. This formation is more than just tradition. It reflects the paramilitary-style organization of the club, as reported by the Vancouver Sun. Sergeant Mark Baker of the Minnesota State Patrol notes that the structured riding style clearly signals the group's discipline and hierarchy, and if one member is pulled over, the entire group will stop, demonstrating the solidarity and loyalty that defines the Hells Angels. Members of the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club must adhere to a strict code, and certain backgrounds or behaviors can immediately disqualify someone from joining. One of the key requirements is complete separation from law enforcement. According to Neil Hall's book, Hell to Pay, individuals who have worked as police officers, prison guards, or in any form of law enforcement are not permitted to join the club. Even simply applying for such a job is enough to bar someone from wearing the Hells Angels patch. This rule reflects the club's distrust of authority and likely serves to protect its members from legal scrutiny. Hall also notes that the Hells Angels do not tolerate child molesters or rapists among their ranks under any circumstances. Loyalty is paramount within the club, and any allegiance to outside institutions or causes, particularly law enforcement, is considered a betrayal. Speaking to the media is also forbidden. According to reporting from the Duluth News-Tribune, members are not allowed to share any club-related information with journalists. Protecting the privacy and internal operations of the group is a major priority. While Sonny Barger disclosed some aspects of the club's code in his autobiography, much of it remains secret and closely guarded. Regular attendance at club meetings is mandatory. These gatherings, known as church, are held weekly at local clubhouses. Members use these meetings to discuss internal matters, address any issues involving law enforcement or the press, and discipline members when necessary. Former Hells Angels President George Christie noted that these meetings can get personal, especially if a member is dealing with problems such as substance abuse. Attendance at church is seen as a key sign of dedication and respect. According to Eve Levine's Hell's Angels, both full members and prospective members are expected to show up without fail. As Barger writes in Hell's Angel, those who miss a meeting without a valid reason can be fined between $50 and $100. Membership is also strictly limited to men, while women, often referred to as old ladies, are involved in the lifestyle and can spend time at the clubhouse and travel with their partners. They are not allowed to become full members. In the past, some women were even seen wearing patches, but participation in club meetings is limited to special occasions. Barger openly acknowledged in interviews, including with the BBC, that the Hells Angels are unapologetically sexist. Women may be respected within the social sphere of the club, but they are not given any official standing. Despite this, Sergeant Jacques Lemieux, as reported by the Vancouver Sun, said that the club often uses women in strategic roles, particularly to gather intelligence on rival gangs and law enforcement. Information is power in the Hells Angels Motorcycle Club, and they take it very seriously. The organization has reportedly used female associates as spies, even placing them in roles such as air traffic controllers and the military to gather intelligence. Trust and loyalty are non-negotiable. Members are forbidden from joining any other motorcycle clubs or gangs and must pledge their loyalty solely to the Hells Angels. This mirrors their complete rejection of alliances with law enforcement or any other institution that could compete with their loyalty to the club. In Hell's Angel, Sonny Barger explains that there was once a strict rule barring members from joining the American Motorcyclist Association, AMA, underscoring how seriously the club guards its independence and internal allegiance. Drug use within the club also has boundaries. While marijuana has long been tolerated, the use of hard drugs, especially heroin or any injected substances, is banned. The club believes that addiction can compromise a member's loyalty and reliability. Barger emphasized in his book that members are expected to avoid behavior that could damage the club's image or legal standing. For example, drug-related injuries or drug burns, selling fake drugs or failing to deliver drugs after being paid, were once strictly forbidden, though Barger admits that enforcement of this rule has waned due to increased legal scrutiny from law enforcement. Club meetings have their own set of expectations. Smoking cigarettes or marijuana during gatherings is not permitted. Spiking drinks, especially when members are on parole, probation, or subject to drug testing, is strictly prohibited. The goal is to prevent any unintentional intoxication that could jeopardize someone's legal status or the club's integrity. Above all else, the club must come first. Former member Dave Atwell, who later became a police informant, told Maclean's that being part of the Hells Angels meant devoting his entire life to the organization. He was the highest-ranking member ever to turn informant, and his account highlighted the total commitment expected of members. Similarly, the Belfast Telegraph interviewed a biker named Colin, who had close ties to the Hells Angels through another group. When asked why he never joined, he explained that the lifestyle demanded too much. Balancing club loyalty with family or a regular job, he said, was nearly impossible. If the club calls you, you have to be there, he explained. Even if you have kids or work obligations, the club comes first. Not showing up is seen as disrespect, and that's not tolerated. In short, joining the Hells Angels isn't just a lifestyle choice. It's a full-time commitment. Members are expected to prioritize the club above all else, leaving little room for outside responsibilities or personal obligations.